Hey everybody, Daniel Budzinski. I'm so excited to share with you and bring you into this next iteration and journey. I was just thinking back many moons ago, I did 2 different podcasts, and the announcement today is I'm launching a new podcast. I'm launching a new video cast. It's called Wavelength. And this journey for me started of like mass transformation in my life when I created the Dreamcast podcast. I wrote the dates May 2016 to September 2017, and then I did The Art of Success June 2018 to August 2019. And I think the moment I kind of did those last recordings on August 2019, I really miss getting to learn from others and share that knowledge with the world. And so this video cast has been a long time coming. We thought we were going to call it Interesting Creatures. So we'll have a segment that's probably called that, and we'll have different like lengths and unique moments and fun. But I just want to have fun. I want to bring guests in that we can really pick their brain. The idea of Wavelength is people are coming and are on different wavelengths. Wavelengths are different vibrational fields, they're ideas, they're currencies of thoughts. There's this all happens on how we hear different tonalities in life. And when people are coming from different walks of life and they're on a different wavelength, let's argue. I want to create those arguments. I want to like have fun, like ask people like, wait, I want to interrupt there. I want to talk about that topic. I disagree. I think letting the best ideas win, going into controversy, making people feel uncomfortable, but going into really fun topics and doing a little bit of entertainment in it as well. I really am excited about the Wavelength podcast. A great moment of my life is after the last 2 podcasts, that inspired me. I was doing a lot of work overseas, 32 countries, all the stuff, and I brought the work and impact of that knowledge and wisdom into Detroit, Michigan, and then turned that into a national curriculum with an amazing team with a company called Purpose Prep. I really attribute a lot of the amazing guests from those shows and their wisdom to be the reason that I sold my last company just about 3.5 years ago. And so I think that something special is going to happen with this podcast, this video cast, and I really hope that it brings impact and meaning to you as well. My mission personally is to help businesses. So a little bit of this Wavelength podcast is we'll talk about some business stuff as well, tax strategy, structure. And so welcome to the Wavelength podcast. If you have suggested guests, topics, maybe you're thinking like, well, what to expect? We could have like 2 or 3 or 4 guests, and topics will be kind of across the board. Like I don't really want to limit it, hence the very abstract general name Wavelength. Other than that, we're having raw dialogue and arguing about stuff. But if you have any ideas, any thoughts, what you love to see and hear, let me know. And production time and value for video stuff is so much more. You got multiple camera angles. You got lots of other factors with lighting. So this is going to be different because you're going to be able to see the faces. Nobody can hide. You're going to be able to see the reactions. And so this is special because it's going to be a video cast. And I don't want them to be like 3-hour-long podcasts. Like, if it should be 20 minutes, then let it be 20 minutes. If it should be a half an hour, let it be a half an hour. But excited to have this be a video cast as well. It's going to be amazing. So why Wavelength? What is with the word? So I love how sound impacts soul and how sound is a vibrational field that is a wavelength, that are frequencies, that are hertz, that are tied to gamma waves and alpha waves, and how these things even affect our metaphysics and our body, our psychology, our brain. There's a membrane around our brain with liquid. There's a moon. We could go into all these things that, that's spiritual, or that's, whatever you would call it. At the end of the day, I love the combination of science and this abstract thinking that's also tied to real information. And Wavelength is about getting people on the same wavelength or seeing a perspective from 2 different wavelengths, 2 different life perspectives. And that, to me, is what makes you an unstoppable human being. So Wavelength is about, it is about the ear. I could say the same thing to you and it means something different if I say it to your parents or your brother or your sister or your wife or your partner. And so the idea is that wavelength, sound, tone, the strength of what we say is so different. How we say everything, and I want this podcast to be hosting a unique perspective, hosting interesting creatures, and ultimately getting to a place to where we suss out some really interesting topics on Wavelength. See you on the next Wavelength podcast.